How's it going, everybody? Geeky Gambit here. Welcome back to the channel for the start of my Titans Season 3 breakdowns. For those of you who somehow missed the memo, Titans Season 3 started airing this last Thursday, and HBO blessed us with not one, not two, but the first 3 episodes of the season. If you have yet to see episodes 2 and 3 though, do not worry, I will not be speaking about those. This is strictly for episode 1. This episode starts out with Jason tracking down the Joker using radio waves after the Joker has a run-in with the GCPD. Jason is of course like, hell yeah, got him. So excitingly, he calls up Bruce, and not so surprisingly, Bruce is basically like, nah man, you gotta wait for me to get back, I'm out of town, I'll be back in the morning, don't do anything, it's the Joker, you can't handle it, bro. You're not that guy, bro. And I love how they did this because it kind of shows that unlike the other Titans, Jason is pretty much still in the same spot as he was at the end of Season 2 3 months ago. Similar to how he got sidelined before in the Dr. Light and Deathstroke situation, he still wanted to prove himself and went out to chase them down. After the phone call, Jason then exclaims that he's not scared of the Joker, and in fact he's not scared of anything. During this, the video pans down to an inhalant drug. I have my theories about what exactly this drug is, but I'll get more into that as the video goes on. As of right now, it simply appears to be some sort of stimulant, some sort of anti-fear toxin, if you will. The drug, however, must not have worked very well, because while Jason is searching for the Joker, he is spooked by an animatronic clown, which allows the Joker to get a jump on him and lead to his death by crowbar. Reminiscing the Death in the Family run back in the 80s, with the exception of the involvement of Jason's mother. We then flash over the Titans in San Francisco, where they are chasing down Gizmo and his gang. You may remember Gizmo from the comics, or more likely, the Teen Titans TV show, and I am referring to this masterpiece, not this monstrosity. To my knowledge, this is the first live-action appearance of the Gizmo that we have gotten so far, albeit even if it was just for a couple seconds. I have to say I loved this scene. The sort of cockiness that we got from Nightwing as he is fighting these thugs was definitely a highlight. Not to mention that we also got, not to mention that the other Titans were also given their moments to shine as well, which was really good to see. After they are successful in apprehending Gizmo, Starfire and the rest of the Titans are then surrounded by a bunch of reporters and praised for their job well done. And it makes me wonder if this is some sort of foreshadowing for what we will see later during the season. Maybe one of the Titans says something along the lines of how they wish that they could go back to San Francisco, considering there's such a contrast of how the public views the vigilantes as compared to Gotham. And we see this in the next scene with Tim Drake. In this scene, Tim is looking at a newspaper that says, "Why Batman?" Like, why is he called Batman? And he kind of looks at it and he's like, well, bats can hear everything, duh. And I like this because it kind of shows that Tim is a smart kid. Some of the things that he finds obvious, other people will kind of look over and not really understand. A couple of things that I want to point out during this scene is one of which you see a billboard in the background of the scene that says the Church of Blood, which is an Easter egg for the Church of Blood led by Brother Blood from the animated movie Teen Titans: The Judas Contract. The second is how Tim states that the city is safe as long as there is a Batman and a Robin, which foreshadows his grief and shock in the next scene once he finds out on the news that Robin has been killed. This obviously also foreshadows Tim's tenure as Robin, since it is likely he will want to take matters into his own hands and pick up the mantle of Robin himself. I would like to point out, however, that given the state of Bruce during this season and how the writers are trying to really hammer home the fact that Bruce really isn't fit to train any more Robins, I do find it to be a possibility that they completely skip or at the very least rush through Tim's tenure as Robin into his Red Robin arc, which is essentially his solo run as Robin. This is just a possibility. I am not saying this is going to happen. Do not shoot the messenger, just saying it's possible. After this, we cut to Dick arriving at Wayne Manor, reminiscing, looking around his old room that is now Jason's. He scrolls through a chemistry book and also some notes before setting it down and heading into the Easter egg cave. In this, we see Batman's holographic dinosaur, Two-Face's gigantic coin, the Mad Hatter's top hat, a giant Joker card, a rack of guns that Batman uses for his training, the gun that was used to shoot his parents, aka Joe Chill's gun, Penguin's umbrella, the letter that was written by Thomas Wayne. This is one of the only sentimental pieces that Bruce keeps in his Batcave. If you do not know, this was given to him by Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint arc. It was essentially from a timeline in which Thomas actually survived. I know, it's a little crazy, but gotta love comic books, right? Alright, that was all that I caught during this scene. If there's any that I missed and you found, put it down in the comments below, because I tried. I tried real hard on this one. Dick then enters the main part of the cave, and this is where we see the first look of how Bruce is handling this situation. During this scene, Bruce is cleaning off the blood from Robin's suit, and you can tell that he's very cold and sort of stoic as he explains to Dick that there won't be any funeral and he already buried Jason's body, and it's pretty much treating it as it was nothing, and he's just going back to work as usual. We then see Gar watching the Nature Channel, sort of coming to grasp with him possibly changing into other animals. I do believe that we will see this season, but I don't think we'll see him changing during battle like every 3 seconds or what have you. I think it's more likely we'll get maybe 2 more transformations. I think it's likely we'd see him turning into a gorilla and possibly another feline animal such as like a lion or a cheetah. But that's just me being realistic. I don't think we'll see too many new transformations for Gar. In the following scene, Dick goes to find Barbara and asks for help with Bruce. They also have a conversation about the Joker and Jason incident, how the Joker just waited to get arrested. Barbara then states that that's what he did after me. And I love how the show does this. It may be a little bit different for me considering I already do know the lore, so these things kind of seem to stand out a little bit more to me. But I think it's great how the writers are able to give context to certain things without diving too deeply into it. Even just giving us a couple little lines that let us know what's going on. Like, I feel like even newcomers will be able to look at this scene and deduce the fact that Barbara used to be Batgirl until she was put in a wheelchair by the Joker. And they were able to do that with just a few lines and little context, so I feel like that's really well done. We then jump to one of my favorite scenes this episode. Barbara is over at the manor, and they're all having a drink and reminiscing over the time Jason was cussing out the Mad Hatter, and Bruce walks in to say, "Watch your language." They all laugh, but seemingly after just this one story, Bruce changes the subject to the current murders going on, once again putting on his sort of hardened bat persona. Barbara then lashes out, and then we find out how the previous Commissioner Gordon died after a run-in with Mr. Freeze. She tries to explain to him that he doesn't really care about anyone around him, it's really just about the war. And I love this because this is where we first really see the first chink in Bruce's armor, so to speak, and really we find out that it's kind of more of an eggshell at this point. After this conversation, Dick starts to search around Jason's room for clues like a true detective. He finds a key to an abandoned warehouse that happens to be where Jason was cooking up that mysterious drug. After beating up a drug dealer and collecting a sample, Dick heads back to the Batcave to analyze it, and I feel his pain because I then had to analyze all of the Easter eggs during this moment. So, after getting no results on what compounds make up the drug, Dick stumbles upon a folder of potential Robin recruits, all of which happen to be Robins from the comics. First up, we got Carrie Kelly, which is the Dark Knight Returns Robin. We got Daxton Chill from the We Are Robin run, aka Dax Attack, Stephanie Brown from the War Games run, and Duke Thomas, also from the We Are Robin run. Before we get any more, Bruce walks in and Dick immediately confronts him about what he has just seen. During this, we once again sort of see the breaking of Bruce's armor as his voice kind of quivers and he raises his hand, almost begging Dick to become Robin again. Dick, of course, refuses, which leads Bruce to his breaking point, and the most controversial scene in the series so far. Later that night, as Dick is asleep, he wakes up to a crowbar hitting the ground with Bruce standing over it, giving one of the most chilling performances of the episode. He simply says, "He started it, I ended it. And do you know what he was doing as I caved his skull in? He was laughing. He laughed at me because he won. The city is yours now. You save it. Do what I couldn't. Be a better Batman." Amazing scene, amazing performance. I loved it. Say what you want about Ian Glenn's Batman, but I personally loved it. for those of you who disagree with the killing Batman, I know you all have your theories out there about how Hush is somehow involved or trying to find any way to disprove this scene. To those people, I ask you, if there was ever one moment where Bruce would kill someone, if there was ever one moment and one person in which he would do that, what would it be? Without simply saying that he wouldn't do it, pick a moment. I'll let you think about it. Alright, this was a bit of a long one, guys, so I applaud you, really. Good job. If you did make it this far, feel free to brag about it down in the comment section below. I didn't expect to be getting the first 3 episodes, so I apologize for this coming out so late. I should have episodes 2 and 3 by the end of this weekend, so stay tuned for that. And then after that, we should be back to our regular scheduled program of 1 episode a week. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for some more geeky content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.